As you are probably aware, there are new development in large reasoning models, DeepSeek, and everything. We need really to react, and we are not a company that be waiting for others to do something. We would like to be the first one.
My guest is Pavel. Pavel is the co-founder of Recombee. Pavel, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me today. Please introduce yourself and Recombee to our listeners.
Hello, Peter. Thanks for having me. So Recombee is actually a company that is providing personalized recommendation and the search as a service. So we basically run hundreds of servers all around the world, and our customers are asking our service, for example, when they have new user coming to their website or some old user, they are asking us, hey, what we should recommend. And this works everywhere in media, in e-commerce, in marketplaces, in any domain you can.
Amazing. Yeah, personalization is the future. I absolutely love what you guys do. And obviously, before we started recording, we had a conversation. I had a look at your current clients. Some amazing names: TripAdvisor, Pepper, Hojuka deals in the UK here, PBS, Gag. But I'm pretty sure it didn't just start with massive contracts. So I would like to know a little bit more how it all started. Talk me through the beginnings of Recombee.
So basically, I'm from academia. I'm a researcher, and I always feel like I would like to stay close to the research and to this to-date, technology, and move the technology forwards. 10 years ago, I had a bunch of my PhD students, and we were developing AI systems at the university. And then we felt like, hey, writing papers is nice, but we would like to have some real world impact. So we found our first client, which was job board recommendations, and we basically constructed a recommender for them. But actually we were like, hey, this is something that is universal, recommendation. So it's not just for job boards. So we would like to do it better. We would like to do a recommender that is able to recommend in any domain. So it's like domain agnostic. So that's how it started, basically.
Amazing. And yeah, absolutely love it that, you went from the knowledge and you had the understanding, you knew what was possible, to actually take it and bring it for companies, right? So just to help me visualize, I go to, a deal sharing website, and so what I experience and what my wife will experience will be completely two different things based on how I've interacted with the platform before, based on what I've been doing prior to that moment. Is that, a good observation? Is that a good assessment of what you guys do?
Yes, and I would say that the difference between like bad and a good recommender is that good recommender is able to recognize your taste very quickly, and it's able to discover something for you from hundreds or thousands or millions of choices, and it's actually helping you to discover stuff. So it's not only in a setup where you already know and you are just looking for this particular thing, but it should also be able to surprise you. And it's always a compromise between searching and discovering some items that might not be so relevant for you and recommending some items that are like more bestseller and popular. So like good recommender is able to find proper audience to almost any item.
Really cool. Okay, and how did you, start thinking about it this way? You came from that research environment. Before the podcast, you've told me that you put, huge effort and focus into that research-based personalization. Talk me through and to our listeners, how has that changed recently? What are the observations and what is that different way for you to think, and how your solution is better than the bad personalization solutions?
So basically, when you are in the research, you are trying to first explore what is available. So you look at the algorithms that are available, you try to implement it, and you see how it performs, how it looks like. So it's also about like measuring the quality. So measuring the quality is a key, how this can actually really benefit the user and how it can benefit the company that is like running the service. So you basically start building some baseline recommenders, and then with these baseline recommenders, you are able to explore more and more different ways and algorithms. So basically, we are on the market for 10 years already almost, and we have developed hundreds of different algorithms that are based on different techniques. There is no like single algorithm that would be the best for everything. Yeah, so you need to have a lot of them. And at the same time, you need to have it implemented in a way where you can really transfer knowledge from domain to domain, for example. So, for example, some things are universal. For example, you have in one domain, you have some popularity-based recommendation, and very similar thing will work definitely in the other domain. Yeah, so you can actually, when you collect the feedback from customers, you can actually get inspired, and then you can help customers also in other domains. What is interesting is that our specialty is, for example, this fast changing environment. For example, the deals you mentioned, Pepper. Yeah, so you have new deals, also 9gag, social network. Every time new items appear, and you have to start recommending them. And when you have old-fashioned recommender that is kind of recomputed over the night, you don't have chance to really start recommending items as they appear. Yeah, so we started differently. We say, hey, we want to have a real-time recommender. And this is like massive engineering challenge. We really started to like implement the system that is able to work on the fly, and it's able to recommend items as they are appearing.
Yeah, I can completely see this. And obviously, yes, we discussed I'm a Hot UK Deals Pepper user, and I know exactly right how it works from my user experience, because obviously I want to be shown the something that I've shown interest before, but also something that maybe I haven't, but is extremely popular and I want it now. So I want to have it essentially live. Everything appears. Now, you've mentioned 9gag, so obviously that's even more data and more posts and everything that you need to find. How is that 1%, 0.5% of those posts? Some, maybe a couple pages, right? From the hundreds of, if not thousands, if not even tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, different pieces that you could show me. And essentially everyone wants to, as a business, and wants to achieve some different thing. What 9gag wants to achieve and what Pepper wants to achieve, right? For Pepper would be, it's not only, okay, you've shown me and I might be interested, but possibility, am I going to click and buy, right? Because that's what makes them money. And 9gag might be completely different. Maybe it's about if I'm going to comment on this, right? So obviously they need to have those KPIs for them defined, and you help them to do that, really to analyze what's important to you, how technology can help you this. Is there any, just out of interest, I'm really curious, if you are going online, spotted some big websites that you think that could be so much better, what being served? Is there something that you're comfortable naming that, if they could just jump on a couple-hour conversation with you, show them what they're missing out on?
You mentioned very great point. Yeah, that's like different business objectives. That's why we have like special business rules implemented on top of our recommender. So basically, our customers can really easily customize, the recommender so it fits their need, KPIs, and even for like really big clients, we are developing custom solutions that are, for example, predicting the margin from every deal and so on. And of course, it's a lot about scalability. So you mentioned like a lot of items, a lot of recommendations. We are really able to power now almost infinite traffic. Yeah? So it's about scaling the resources, and you need to be able to handle tens of thousands recommendation every second, for like a reasonable big client. And of course, we are always looking for new clients. What we feel like in media industry, we have a lot of really unused potential. We are now serving a lot of streaming services, for example, the recommendation, then video, like on demand. You can see thousands of businesses around the world doing the big brands, and I believe there are still quite some gaps when it terms on quality of recommendation, and not only recommendation but also search. I would say in search it's even worse. So the quality of search in many services, it's not very good, especially these days. People are really, chatting with ChatGPT. So they are used to AI. So you have to understand them. And this search and recommendations are somehow interconnected. So we are also developing semantic search capabilities, and this is kind of tied together these days.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Okay. Yeah. Yes, the benefits for companies are so clear to me, at least, right? If, for example, if you're a social media platform, right? And better recommendations, personalization just allows the user to stay, usually they stay 10 minutes on one login, and just imagine they stay 11 just because that content is a little bit more engaging, right? That includes 10% of whatever you've been doing. Nothing else changes. 10% extra of what your goal is. If your goal is to, spread that platform, is all about who's sharing what post, and you can optimize to recommend something that is shareable and you are willing to share. Just imagine you should spread the word about your platform 10%, 20% faster. Your case studies on the website are fantastic, even directly money making, right? I'm taking probably more from e-com when, maybe average order value is higher, the checkout is increasing from 3% to 4%, right? Just because the recommendation was that little bit better. So talk me through some of those case studies and how about, those results that you achieved for your clients that really stand out for you.
We typically try to convince our clients to allow us inform about our success because, as you say, it's like easy to measure, easy to compare. So when you go to our website, recombee.com, you can see many user case studies where we have exact numbers. These numbers, what you typically measure is, as you said, like time spent with the service, because we observed that this is something that those metrics often correlates. Yeah. So if you make the service very nice for a user, basically the business is also improving. And when you have some like short-term goal, business goal that go against the user, then it's really like short-term benefit and value. And then in the long term, you are losing people, you are losing users in the platform. So you need to be really wise when it comes to influencing our recommender to really benefit user. And that's why we also try to make our system more responsive and responsible. We are also kind of measuring, the user engagement over time. It's of course much more difficult to optimize for long-term criteria like user engagement. I think it can be done with new feature insights where we really show, what is going on. We help providers of recommenders instead understand, the impact to the users. They can look at every scenario, what are the recommended stuff, most recommended stuff. This is something that is really helping people to understand the impact of the recommender to their users and to their business. I think this will be much, much more important over the years because you don't want to have a black box recommender. You need to go in this direction.
Absolutely. Yeah. Personalization is so important, and the clever in personalization. And especially if there are tools, there is a way of doing this, right? Someone landed on your click now, attention. So I actually put my attention to your website, to your service. It's so expensive. So give them the best experience, give them the best 5 minutes once after someone clicked or on the checkout, the service, TripAdvisor, make that 5 minutes the best possible way. And if IT is going to help you in innovation, perfect, right? Okay, let's talk about, we had a conversation before about, bootstrapping your journey. So you've mentioned defining the very first client. When was that, the big breaking point where you said, like, this is something serious with signing now bigger companies? How did you manage to find them? How did you manage to convince them? What's been working for you into signing some of those well-known international brands?
So, we are based in Prague. Like Central European startups. It's not as good position as where you are in San Francisco, for example. And so basically our first idea was to go and find some investors and have like really venture powered company. But at the time they said, hey, recommenders and some systems, this is something that already exists. So we don't found you. So we basically say, hey, and universal recommender system, this is not going to work because you need to focus really on one domain, and do the So they had really different opinions than us, and we were like, hey, we don't want to do like single domain recommender. We would really love to have something general like database. You don't have database for e-commerce only. So we wanted to do something more general and more scalable. And then we decided to bootstrap the company, which was quite challenging. So we basically reinvest, all the revenue back to the company. It takes much longer time. So over the years, you add new and new clients, typically by references. We started without business department, really people, researchers who are focusing on a product. And we started with online surveys, and we did rely on organic traffic only in the beginnings. And still, even now, I think most of our leads are from references. But since then, we have developed a company. We have now more than 50 people. We are now moving to new offices in the center of Prague, which are much, much bigger. And I think we are investing a bit more into online marketing. So, for example, Google AdWords and other stuff. Also, really putting emphasis into quality of marketing materials. So we really do these success stories with clients. And this is something what changed us a bit from computer scientists trying to make the best product possible to like a regular company. Now we are aware of the fact that people need to know that the product exists. And so you need to go a little bit beyond your comfort zone and advertise your solution.
I agree. Because, I see loads of fantastic products. But if you're not going to have a chance to present it to someone that is a decision maker in your target company, your perfect prospect, no one's going to know, right? How great your product is. Obviously, you've got some amazing case studies. You went through that most difficult phase of, reinvesting money, trying to find the next client with organic content without huge strategy for biz dev and marketing. Well done. Absolutely amazing story. And now next chapter, new offices, right? Completely new strategy. I can see that you're thinking differently. Okay, we are going to have to invest into finding, prospecting and finding our clients on more streamlined manner rather than just waiting if someone's going to refer us before the podcast. You said that you're going to events and so on. So really, really good. Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to follow up on in this case is 2025, just January now. So are there any stated goals that you have as a company? You're moving to new offices, so there's investment there, different energy probably going this year. So what are you going to be doing in terms of, marketing and sales that you already thought, okay, we're gonna give this a go, and we really want to present this product to decision makers? Clearly the product is really good. You've told me before, the last time we met actually, that once someone is your client, they hardly ever leave because they're essentially addicted to the software. It's like, well, I'm not dropping my 20% of revenue, right? The second I disconnect. So how are you going to market this essentially? That's my question, is how are you going to go after the market and say, look, personalization is the key and we are extremely good at what we do?
Okay, so maybe I would start with the product, and some our plans. We would like really to add a couple of like really interesting features this year, A/B testing and other stuff that are kind of really extending again the portfolio of functionalities that are capable to do with our product. And we are quite intensive still in research and developing of new stuff. As you are probably aware, there are new development in large reasoning models, DeepSeek, and everything. We need really to react, and we are not a company that would really be waiting for others to do something. We would like to be the first one. So we have now more than 10 people in a research team, and we are really trying hard to come up with something that is very interesting. So I believe that this is our like primary mission, to bring some game changer feature into the field. Then when it comes to marketing, we are organizing big conference in September in Prague that will be not only for researchers. It's connected with ACM RedSys conference, but also we would like to focus on our customer base, and we would like to invite a lot of people to Prague. So I believe this is something that will be quite successful. Last year we were focusing more on US, so we were on business trip in US. This year it will be more about our offices in Prague and people coming to Prague for Recombee Technology Days. So I believe this is something. And also we were successful in getting quite big brands recently. I'm not able to disclose them today, but very soon I think we will be using them in our marketing as well.
Awesome. Sorry, I didn't catch it first. I thought you going to the event, but you're actually organizing it. So you want to put yourself in the center of this and actually have companies coming to you, and you show them on your terms, in your home grounds, in your office, in Prague. Fantastic. Okay. So, and great to hear that on top of those brands that I could see on the website, there's even more. And I hope they appearing as logos very, very quickly on your website, and you have awesome case studies. Okay. And tell me, is there something that you find as the biggest challenge this year for you in terms of, your growth? You went through that very initial phase, the bootstrapping. I can just imagine it hasn't been easy finding the very first few clients, cash flow. And on top of this, what I hear through all this conversation we've been having is you're very heavily focused on the research. It's good enough now, but you want to be even better next year. And you know that market is changing rapidly, and you want to be on top of this. You want to be number one with a ready product, right? Because this scene is changing constantly. So what you predict as your biggest challenge as a company going into 2025?
So the biggest challenge, most likely for bootstrap companies, to keep up the pace of AI innovations in the field. We are basically now incorporating a lot of large language models and vision transformers and, this latest technology to our product. And we are even building our stuff. And for this, you typically need quite a lot of money. You need GPUs, you need a lot of resources for this. So hopefully we managed to have some enough resources for training, and it's not about just the cost, it's about availability. You need to have people that are skilled, in this research and development, and then you need to be able to transfer this into a product quite rapidly. So this is our biggest challenge, and we are putting a lot of emphasis to this. We are also collaborating with NVIDIA. They have some special software for acceleration of the inference, LLM inference. And so we do quite a lot of experiments with their acceleration software, and we hope we will strengthen the partnership even more. We were visiting them in their headquarters last year in San Francisco. So we believe this collaboration will be quite helpful. And again, it might give us another competitive advantage over other players in the field.
Amazing. Yeah, nope. Every time I ask a question, you drop another huge name that you're doing and work closely with, and this is fantastic. And I can just picture those challenges. Obviously, great talent in this space is difficult, expensive, and then GPUs, impossible to buy and ridiculously expensive as well. And then on top of this, everything is changing, right? It's just recently AI agents, I think is the word, when OpenAI announced that they actually better testing this. So every time you have something dramatically changes, and you need to, adjust your approach. And on top of this, all that section is not making money. So it costs a lot of money. It's not making money now. It might in the future, you might be ready, might something completely change 180 and you're not ready because technology went the other way and it costs tremendous amounts of money. And it hasn't got any revenue now. Now it's just the cost. So I can completely see that. But it's just, I think, shows how much focus and resources you put into research to really be the best, right? And that's why all those companies, as you mentioned, when they sign up with you, they just stay with you because they know they're in the safe hands. Their experience for their clients is better. Their results improve, and they cannot drop it. And they know, I can see that now. They know that next year, 2 years, 5 years from now, if they're going to stay, you're going to be on top of everything, right? So they're in safe hands. Pavel, if someone would like to find you and find out a little bit more about, approaching that personalization, maybe have a conversation with you about their service, their website, their e-com store. Where could they find you online?
Okay, so maybe just a comment to your previous
Sure.
stuff you have mentioned. So basically, our advantage is that we are really, close to clients. We are bootstrapping, so we are not developing a venture-based product with no customers. Yeah, so we basically have enough customers for newest features, and we are not developing features that are like too far away from the market. So this is something that makes us a bit more happy and safe, in this world. And basically, we are writing a lot of blog posts around. So you can basically find all this information at our website, recombee.com. We are sharing a lot of resources. We are quite open even around our latest research results. You can find a lot of articles from our researchers. So we try to also help the community because we are using a lot of open source solutions. So we would like to give back as well. And we hope we will be able to move this and shift this field. Recommendation and personalization, as you said, is now a must for everyone. So we really need to make it affordable, and we need to make it easy to integrate to almost any online service and online product. Otherwise, it's a really painful experience for people because they are already used for having personalized experience. So that's our way.
Absolutely amazing. This is great, and I love internet more since it's been personalized more. I enjoy it. Obviously, I've got limited time to really use some services, and I want it to be accurate for me. Exactly what my interests are. You know it. I've been using your website for 2 years, 5 years. You know what I like. You know what I dislike. I'm gonna have 15 minutes to spend on your service. Kids make it the best experience for me. And I hope that internet is going. The services website, e-com stores, social media is going. The big social media works like this already, right? But the small ones, I hope that everything is going this way. That if I'm going to dedicate 5 minutes to go on particular service website, new, social media platform, I want it to be exactly, and use the data that you've learned from me. I'm using this. It's absolutely going to be necessary. Very important for user experience. Fantastic. Pavel, on this note, thank you very much for joining me for this conversation. I really enjoyed learning about, what you guys do, and you dropping some fantastic names that you already work with or you partner with for the research and for taking things forward. Thank you very much. I really appreciated chatting to you and wish you all the best.
Pete, thanks for your insightful questions. I really enjoy being here with you, and have a nice day.